Yo, people, it's transfer checkers. We got shit to say. We got things to talk about. Hakimi is moving mad. Declan Rice is the talk of the town again because this fan base is obsessed and they have problems. And Billy Gilmour is throwing in masterclasses against our national team. It is a beautiful day. We're going to kick it off real quick. I'll see you, man, in a bit. Now what we saying, people, lateness is greatness. You already know what time it is. It's time for the Transfer Checkers show. Dami is hungover and Anita is high on her own supply coffee. How are you doing, Anita, first of all, before I go to Dami, who's definitely not?
I'm tired. I'm really tired, but at the same time, because I've drank so much coffee, I'm really jittery right now. So let's do this. Let's get some energy, bro. Let's do this.
Dami, are you all right, man? Because you're looking a little bit waved. What's wrong with you?
I am dead.
Broski, yesterday, yeah. I think I got shagged in it. So don't worry. Don't worry about me, sweetheart. Don't worry about me, sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? Last time it was almost the grand gone, but now at present, it's the grand drunk in it. So we're here, fam. You know what I'm saying? So let's do this thing now.
Wow. Okay. Well, listen. Big up the chat. Big up to everybody. Review gang is in session, but now it's the Transfer Checkers show. And listen, like I said, we've got a few things to talk about. First of all, Billy Gilmour's performance yesterday. I'm sure you guys all saw it. Beautiful performance. Probably the only thing that really kept me awake. And even that, I still dropped to sleep a couple of times in that England game. 0-0 was the final score, but he got man of the match. And do you know what I find so mad, yeah? And I want to get you guys' take on it. It's like this performance has shocked people. It's like they didn't know how good he was or what his potential was in the first place. Because I'm surprised with how much this performance seems to have woken people up. I already knew Billy was this good. I already knew Billy could drop big performances. He's still young, he's still developing, but we knew he was capable of this. So, Anita, did you see anything you didn't see before? What happened? What's going on with the fan base? Why is everybody so shocked?
I was just like, this is normal, isn't it? Like, this is what he does. This is normal. Like, when he got man of the match, don't get me wrong, like, I was like, well deserved, but I was like, this is what he does. Like, this is just how he is. That's how he plays. There was nothing, like, out of the ordinary because that's just who he is. He gonna play like that anyway. That's just who he is, and that's how he's gonna be. Period, Paul. Like, I don't get me wrong. Like, I was really proud of him, though. I was really proud of him because it's one thing to do it at club level, but to keep that same energy internationally, that's it. Like, that's actually quite amazing. It just shows that like he's not just a one-trick pony. He's not just gonna work at Chelsea or Chelsea like under 21. Like, he's not just gonna work there. It's gonna work globally wherever he goes. So and it kind of was embarrassing for Declan Rice, but I'm guessing we're going to go into that later. So it was really embarrassing. I was thinking, look at your younger boy, look at your younger, just spinning circles around everyone, and you're there looking for space. Anyway.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I will get onto Declan in a minute, but I'll stick with Billy for now because Billy got man of the match in his cup debut at Chelsea, his Premier League debut, I'm pretty sure his Champions League debut, and now his Scotland full debut as well. So he's picked up man of the matches every time he's had a debut. He's always showed the qualities that he's shown yesterday in terms of receiving the ball in tight spaces, in terms of being able to run, get past people. He's very mobile, low sense of gravity, great passer of the ball, which we should know as well. Dami, did you see anything that shook you yesterday? Why are people only just realizing now that we obtained this player?
My thing is with Billy Gilmour, a lot of people, because that's one player, yeah, that's the first person I ever called. I said, you know what? Before we saw Mount play for Chelsea, before we saw Reece James, all them brothers, I said he was going to make it. Do you know I'm coming from? Billy Gilmour is the one player that before anybody told me, I knew Billy Gilmour before that game in Ireland. I knew what he was going in about. People must have underestimated him because, the thing with Gilmour is that right now, much like Phil Foden, and I don't want to put them in the same bracket, but much like Foden, sometimes, Gilmour will come into the fray and then you drop a very good game. The next game is not really the best, and it sort of drops off a little bit. People are taking his inconsistencies to be bad, even though it's just because he's young. Him balling out yesterday and showing levels didn't. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. You know what I'm saying? I'm not surprised. It's kind of like, I was going to make a dodgy reference. Let me leave that in the back. But like I said, I'm not really surprised, innit? So him coming out bowling against England and Southgate's terror midfield was not a shock. Do you know what I'm saying? Because Billy Gilmour is just so smart. He always has been. And then him playing the way he did yesterday, like Matisse said in his tweet, that's Jorginho's takeover, man. Do you know what I'm saying? We've got the replay. We've got him at home. We've got him at home. He's so technical on the ball, so saucy, so good, very good at controlling play, was dictating things nicely, even getting stuck in as well. That's one thing I like about him. Apart from the fact that he's very technical on the ball, he gets stuck in. He gets in and wants to go for the challenge. So Gilmour is sauce, man. He's sauce. He showed levels yesterday, man.
Do you know what, with Gilmour is that he's a nice blend of Jorginho, of Mateo Kovacic, and of Kante. Like, he's got the mobility to get around, to make tackles and interceptions. He's got the dribbling and the ability to drive with the ball. He can pass, which I would say none of those three are fantastic at. I think Jorginho will probably be the best at it, but none of them are Cesc Fabregas level. I think Gilmour has the potential to surpass all of them from a passing ability if he's not already quite close to them as it is. Very press resistant, mobile. So, he's kind of a nice blend of everybody. But my thing with Gilmour is that he needs minutes. So even after, right now what I'm starting to see is every single game that takes place at the Euros, people are losing their shit, whether it's for Isaac at Sweden or it's Gilmour now. Or, again, these players have not just turned up now. They've been doing their thing. Locatelli has been doing this thing in Serie A. Isaac has been doing this thing in Spain. Gilmour has been doing his thing whenever he's got opportunities at Chelsea, which is very infrequently, but we should still know he's a baller by now. But I don't get how all of this kind of stuff is starting to change the narrative now. Gilmour, in my opinion, needs minutes. I would love him to stay here next season, but we already saw him this season and he didn't get enough minutes for me. So there's no point unless Tuchel's going to change his mind and he's gonna make it easier for him to get more minutes and he's gonna start handing out more minutes to Gilmour. Then for me, as if you get him a great loan, which is shown to be successful and unsuccessful in the past for a few players, then again get him a Premier League loan that suits him, a team that play football like a Leeds or etc. Whoever can give him minutes. And then let him ball out and let him play properly, so that his ranking goes up in the Chelsea hierarchy. What would you guys do with Gilmour next season? Have you changed your mind on anything, or are you still the same stance as how you was before?
Do you know what? The Leeds thing, that sounds proper. I'm not gonna lie, like a loan to Leeds sounds proper, because the most important thing, like you said, is to get him minutes. I don't think he's going to get as much minutes as, we would like next season, especially with Jorginho, Kante and Kovacic in Tuchel's mind at the forefront. Like, he's still going to be that fourth choice player, but of course he can always fight into the system. But would you rather fight to get into the system or have minutes at Leeds and prove yourself there and then come back? Like that's what I see happening with him. But yeah, that's what I see happening with him.
Yeah, even a Brighton, if Basuma was to leave, something like that, where
I prefer Leeds, because with the way Leeds play, they love to have possession. Like, they're really fast attacking as well, and I feel like if you can fit well into Leeds' system as a DM or as whatever people want to call him, people are already debating whether he's a DM or box to box. I'm not involved, but as whatever position that he plays, holding. I personally think if you can handle that type of intensity, then you can come back to Chelsea and still handle that type of intensity. So I'd prefer him personally at Leeds.
Yeah.
If he goes to Leeds, the Gilmour that we will get back, boom.
Yeah.
People don't understand, and I keep pushing this thing because people don't understand what I mean whenever I say. Let me repeat myself again. Bring out your notebooks. This is the election. This is a Billy Gilmour session now. Do you know I'm coming from? Take it seriously. This is the last exam before the term ends. Do you know what I mean? If you fail this exam one more time, then you got to leave school. This guy, you got a player that starts small for starters. People just say he's small, this and that. He wants to get involved in winning the ball back. Fabregas didn't really give too much of a crap because he couldn't run. Gilmour is athletic. So imagine sending him here, someone as technical as himself. Because what can Gilmour do in terms of he can take a free kick into the box? Didn't you see the free kicks he was putting into the box at times for Scotland yesterday. He can take a free kick, okay, and like a deep free kick. He can give you a deep line playmaker style pass. You know them quarterback style passes. He can do all of those technical. He can give you those insightful, like in between the line passes as well. He's not sloppy on the ball. All those technical, and he has them with the grit of a typical Scotsman. Do you know where I'm coming from? He's got those two things in one individual. We need to send him to a team like a Leeds, like a Bielsa, who's going to make him do a lot of running. See what Calvin Phillips is doing. Obviously, different physiques, different style of play. But at the end of the day, if you send Gilmour down to those sort of ends, I'm strongly believing that once he comes back to Chelsea, he'd be a different player. Because not only has he had that experience to go in, week out, so he can iron out those inconsistencies. Look at Mason Mount. Ironed out inconsistencies at Derby and ironed them out in his first season at Chelsea. Now he's Mr. Consistent. He's starting to get the title. Give him next season and boom, he is Mr. Consistent if he keeps it consistent. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's just how it is right now. So Gilmour, for me, if you don't send him off to Leeds, then I think the loan needs to be very spot on. It needs to be well. I don't want them to just send him off to any random ass team.
Yeah, please.
I don't want
not like a Ruben Loftus-Cheek to Fulham, like that one. It needs to be proper.
Like that. Nothing like an Ampadu to Sheffield United. Nothing like along those lines. I want to see my prop. Doesn't have to be the best team in England, but it needs to be at a proper team that will utilize his strengths, okay, and improve his game. If not, I want us to keep him and do what Tuchel. Just look at Guardiola's book, even though you bent him over like 17 times, whatever. Look at his book with Phil Foden and take it from there. Because this guy is a gem. So let's just keep that book. People, forgive my my queen of voice.
I think when it comes to Gilmour, you know, he's always been this talented. Do you know what I mean? Like, this has been evident since he broke into the first team. I just think that, like you said, the loan is very important, and only if you can find the right loan should he go. If you can't find the right loan, then he should be kept. But this performance against England kind of just puts him in the shop window even more, because maybe others didn't know his talent as much as, I mean, Roy Keane already spoken about it. Do you remember last season? He spoke about him very highly. Once he's speaking highly of you, someone's got to sit up and take notice. But maybe, you know, other clubs, fan bases, they didn't really understand why we gave Gilmour so much attention, so much hype, because maybe they didn't see what we saw. He didn't get the minutes. But it sounds like, I mean, for all three of us, I want to see in the chat as well, are you keeping Gilmour or are you loaning him? Because if you're still loaning him, then that means we still need another midfielder, which means nothing's really changed, right? Nothing's really changed. Now, this is why I've never said midfield is Chelsea's priority. It's always been striker, because striker is so evidently more of a problem than midfield, because you do have players like Billy Gilmour. If you don't get to loan him out and you have to keep him, it's not the worst thing in the world, having the four that we have. Whereas if we don't get a striker and we keep the strikers we have, for me, that's a big, big problem. So a lot of people are saying keep. Were you saying keep before the Scotland game as well, or is it just now? I want to know. Be honest, because I
ain't gonna lie. I was saying go. Like, not go as in like go because you're shit, but it's more like a Callum thing. Like, go because you're too good to be on the bench. Just go. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was saying keep.
I want to see this brother week in, week out starting in it. The only way he can do that is he goes on a strong loan. That makes him out. If he's not going on a strong loan, he's not starting like this. Let's keep it up. Same thing with Reece James. No matter how talented they were, if they didn't go out, iron out their kinks and sort everything out, they were not starting like this. So, Billy Gilmour, for me, my preference still stands in it. Obviously, before Tuchel came in, I said they should stay because I felt like it would help midway through the season and learn under Tuchel and whatnot. So Tuchel is what he's about. But now that he's seen what he's about, now he's seen what he's done, I want Billy Gilmour to go out on the one-season loan only if it is correct. Do you know what I mean? I want him to go on the one-season loan only if it's correct. If it's the perfect loan for him, if the other club can promise a certain amount of time, because I know you can get that in contracts, you can be like, shit, we need Gilmour to play like 20 games minimum, start 20 games minimum this season. So I need him to be going to the correct loan at the correct club. Let him do his thing, come back the season after, boom, you're going to have a sweet player.
Yeah, I think there's a debate of whether you should have Gilmour in the Pep model of Foden or in the loan model of Mason Mount, Christensen, Tomori, Abraham. It's difficult because we have some successful ones like the ones I just mentioned with Abraham, Tomori, Mason Mount, Christensen, even Thibaut Courtois went away for 2 years. We've got some very good successful loans. They went out there, they done their thing, and they came back, and now they're either
we begged for them back. We begged for Courtois back. We begged for Matic back. You know what I mean? Like,
but now we got people that are scarred from Loftus-Cheek loan, Ampadu loan. and they don't want to see Gilmour go because potentially it goes wrong and then we've set him back. I mean, there's definitely an argument to say Tuchel can develop him. And the fact that Tuchel can develop him, Foden never went on loan, 100%. Callum never went on loan, and he's not in the clear picture as such as a Reece James or Mason Mount is. You have to dissect it and say, why are these guys that didn't go out on loan currently, Gilmour and Callum Hudson-Odoi, why are they not high up the pecking order like a Mason Mount or Reece James? Is it because they haven't had that loan? They haven't had that time away from the club? What is it? I don't know.
I think just because with like Callum, right? I think it's just because he hasn't taken his positions by the balls. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, we all know how talented he is and stuff, but the difference between Callum and Mason is that even though Mason was given several chances, every time Mason played, he took it by the balls. Like, you can see how much this guy wanted there, and you can see the effect that he had on the team. What he had on the team was, like, the season before his first season, every time he didn't play, our team was flat. He made himself that person that comes in and just becomes that person that gives us that extra energy. Without Reece James as a fullback, Reece James, he's just smart. He capitalized on the fact that no one can whip a ball like him. So he capitalized on that and he started whipping in balls, and that's playing to his strengths. But when it comes to Callum, he does what everyone else can do. He needs to find what his niche is and take it by the balls and make sure that's something that Chelsea can't let go of. But for me, he's done that under Sarri, but he hasn't quite held on to it. And he needs to hold on to it to solidify his position in Chelsea, because that's what happens. You take a position by the balls, run with it, make yourself irreplaceable, boom, you're in. It's hard, but it's not as hard as it looks.
Yeah. I think as well, someone saying don't learn him starting week in, week out. You have to remember, Chelsea are trying to chase the Premier League title next season. Yeah. So is Gilmour going to start week in, week out in the Premier League when we're trying to chase the title? It's a big jump up. I didn't hear anybody saying this a couple of weeks ago. I really didn't. You know, that's a big jump up in responsibilities. He's still very young. He's still developing. He's still going to make mistakes. He can drop some big boy performances. And I think, like I said before, I mentioned Ampadu at the start of the season as well, because I believed in his potential, but he hasn't had a great loan in Sheffield United. But I believe that Ampadu previously, I don't know about now, because again, that loan was very poor. He needs another loan. He's got a long way to go. But Gilmour is also, there to surpass and push out when needed the likes of Jorginho, Kova, Kante, who are all getting on in age. When their time comes to take a step down or maybe get less minutes, these guys will be the guys to take their place, especially Gilmour. Maybe Ampadu now is looking a bit ropey, or maybe Ampadu is more of a centre-back in a back three, but he needs to have a very, very good loan now to get back into the reckoning, because Mark Gahey's turned up, who's definitely ahead of him in the pecking order. But Gilmour, to replace any one of those three when they age, he's got the qualities of both. Whether he's an 8, whether he's a 6 in some people's eyes, between those two positions, I would just call him a 7. There you go. I would just call him a 7, because for me, he's got the characteristics of both positions. I would trust him, and I trust him a lot to build up from the back and be the deepest midfielder and make tackles and make interceptions, because he's got the mobility. And I trust him to make the progressive passes and break the lines that an 8 needs to do. So I think he's a fantastic player for both. But let me ask as well. So if we are loaning him, right, because I think he's too good for FA Cup games now. I think he's a player that needs more minutes than that. So I think consistently starting would be nice under a manager that can teach him stuff. This is the key. So not just, Scott Parker's a nice manager. He's a nice, talented, up-and-coming manager, but more of a Bielsa, which is what we said. Which DM or midfielder are you guys bringing in? Because the obsession of this fan base right now of talking about Declan Rice, and I'm not, listen, let me make this very clear, because I think people get very confused. Dami's learned this new trick of moving his screen, and he's addicted to it right now. He's addicted to it. So you can move, if you are you on your laptop?
Yeah.
You can just hold down your own screen and put it down.
No. I'm doing that from a different area.
Oh, you're doing it from a different. Oh, okay, maybe.
Yeah, it's not StreamYard.
It's not StreamYard. Okay, Dami's on some other extra. He's on he's on another site. But yeah, the obsession with talking about Declan Rice and his fan base is nuts. You can't even tweet anymore without Declan Rice's name being mentioned. And I'm talking about from a positive perspective or negative, this player over talked about, even from a positive or negative perspective, over talked about now. Over talked about. You can't tweet anymore, and his name's already in the mentions. If you mention Kante, Jorginho, Kova, his name comes in there. Oh, you don't like him, or we need him. Shut up! Nobody mentioned his name. Nobody.
Can I tell you something, both of you? Yeah? Let me tell you what I did yesterday. So Rice, I just said, you know what? Let me test the waters before I tweet this evening. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I tweeted? I doubt you guys saw this because it was up for like 10 minutes. You got like 200 likes in 10 minutes. You had like 100 and something replies, like 20 quotes.
10 minutes?
But do you want to know? Okay, what do you guys think? I want to, because it's a bit of I want to see what you guys thought I tweeted, didn't it? Matisse, Anita, what do you guys think I tweeted for me to be doing 200 likes, 100 plus comments and 20 quotes in 10 minutes? What do you think I tweeted? Guess, take a wild guess.
Chelsea need Rice.
Okay, Matisse, what do you think I tweeted?
I have no idea because you're a mad bastard.
Rice is a stripper.
I tweeted Declan Rice, full stop. That's all I tweeted. Declan Rice. And the two sides of the Chelsea fan base, they just gave you full force. Them man, some people were just like, "Oh, why you tweeting about the Rice like this now?" It's because I didn't say anything. All I tweeted was Declan Rice, full stop. And people got angry, and some people got happy. Some people said the guy is shit. Some people said, "Why are you talking about him?" I'm just like, this fan base here, you can never satisfy anybody. But like, I'm going to stick to my position on this guy. If we sign him, I'm not going to be angry. The only thing that can upset me is the cost. Now, people should miss me with that Marina Grande Sky will sort out the transfer fee bullshit, because we all know, that as much as you can sort it out, deep this thing, some people are more than happy to pay 90 million Great British pounds, for Declan Rice, which for me is a bit too much money. I rate the guy, do you know what I'm saying? But for what he does, I don't think he's worth more than 55 million. And when I tweeted this yesterday, because I said respectfully speaking, Southgate tax aside, how do people see that sort of money involved? You've got Locatelli out there doing this thing, you've got Tchouaméni as well doing this thing, you've got all these talented players, and I'm not saying Rice isn't talented, but for the amount of money you are willing to spend, you can buy Locatelli and Hakimi together for the amount of money man them want to spend on Declan Rice. Do people not see these numbers? I don't want to use that word overrated because I'm not trying to get involved in any sort of altercations on the TL, but that's just the way the situation is. Rice right now for me, everybody has a strong opinion on him. Every single person. How do I tweet Declan Rice? Oh, that's all I tweeted. Declan Rice. And then man them get mad. It's funny, man. It's a funny thing.
But do you know, my stance on Declan Rice is really weird, right? I'm kind of with you on the fact that I think he will be a calm signing to have, but it's just the price. Like, I'm not paying 80 million. When it was 50 million, I thought, okay, fine. Like, I think everyone was really over exaggerating because that's really just what the price is, like nowadays, if you want to get a centre back, you're paying 50 million. Like, it's just what it is. But 80 million, no, he's not worth that. I think this fan base, not just this family, just football fans in general, are way too reactionary. From what I saw yesterday with Declan Rice, and I understand where everyone's frustration's coming from, but that didn't look like a Declan Rice playing at West Ham. Do you get? When you play under different managers, you're going to have different tasks to be doing, and especially as a DM, there's going to be tasks where all you have to do is distribute passes, all you have to do is break down play. There's going to be different tasks. Only God knows what Gareth Southgate told this man to do, because it just looked like he was running out of space every time. It just didn't make any sense to me. And it did look very foreign to him. And that's why I say that he had a bad game. But I didn't blame any of the players yesterday. I blamed Gareth Southgate because it looked like instructions were just out of this world. The tactics were they were just very mad. You know what I mean? So people need to stop being reactionary about Rice. And people talking about who are these people? I think Locatelli. What's the guy's name? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Locatelli, Italy.
There's another guy that starts with a TC.
Oh, Tchouaméni. Yeah.
Tchouaméni as well.
Tamagotchi.
Basmati, as long as
it's separate Basmati, by the way.
Jollof rice.
Basmati. Do you know what's funny? Yeah, Basmati is actually a really good rice. It's good.
Yeah,
good rice.
It's good.
I love Basmati rice, but if you put basmati rice in jollof rice, if you use basmati rice to make jollof rice, you have sinned against the world. But carry on.
Hold on, what? I use basmati rice for jollof rice.
You use basmati rice for
But you know what? My basmati isn't proper basmati. Like my basmati is different. My basmati is a crossbreed of basmati and long grain, so it's not too hard and it's not too thin. So it's just really just a nice. But anyway,
you know what? Yeah, you know what it is.
Anything really baffles me because for me, his name came out of nowhere. 1, 2. People have watched, the compilations on YouTube and automatically think that's who we need, blah, 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 blah. Until I see solid matches from him, I'm not going to be there rooting for him saying that's who we need, because can the fan base actually say that they've seen this Tukameni guy, play a full 90 minutes and evaluate off of that? I feel like we need to go back and do things like that as opposed to watch clips of them. And that's why I'm all for Declan Rice, because I've seen what he's capable of doing. I've seen his weaknesses. I've seen his strengths and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's down to our scouts, because obviously our scouts would be keeping an eye on all of these people. And if our scouts say this is who we need, then that's who we need. But if we don't get him and we get Declan Rice and, Tuchel's behind it, I'm trusting Tuchel on it. I think Tuchel's already... reportedly said that he wants Declan Rice. So the reignition of Declan Rice coming to Chelsea after it was slammed in January is reignited by Tuchel himself. Why is that? What's the correlation there? So I think we should stop being, reactionary and stop basing it on other people's approval and actually take a deep breath and just think about what we actually need. And if we don't get a DM this season, I don't really give a heck,
Yeah.
I don't give a heck anymore.
Rice has become, in this fan base, without even playing for Chelsea, Rice has become what Jorginho was and what Mason Mount was. And let me explain what I mean by that. This guy's name and this guy's player profile and ability and current level and potential has been put aside for tribal beef, right? So regardless of how good he is, what his strengths are, which is, by the way, if we're going to be serious, we shouldn't be watching the Euros and making conclusions on players. We shouldn't, because Jadon Sancho does not look like Jadon Sancho for England either. But nobody is going to tell you that Jadon Sancho is a bum. They're going to tell you that Southgate doesn't know what he's doing. That's the first point. And I'm not a Declan Rice stan. I don't give a shit. Okay, I don't give a shit about who we get in DM. I've already made that abundantly clear on this channel. I will take whoever Tuchel wants, because Locatelli has potential. Tuchemeni has potential. Basuma has potential. Declan Rice has potential. Calvin Phillips has potential. Whoever Tuchel thinks he can get for a good price and wants to work with in terms of improving them, because they're all going to need improving, go for it. As long as we don't spend stupid money, which again we won't, because Marina is queen and she rules and she knows what she's doing, then there's no problem, right? Now, let's make this. So that's the first thing with England, right? Because let's not make conclusions on one performance. That's just silly. But also, like I said, this person's name has just become a name to fight about. Tribal shit. It's not nothing serious anymore. It's just a name. Oh, I don't like this person who likes him, so I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna start hating on him, and I want to prove this person wrong because they thought he was worth this and that and the third. And it's a simple case of overhyping and now over slandering. And really the truth lies somewhere in the middle. He's not worth 100 million. He's not worth 90 million. He's not worth 80 million. He's not even worth 70 million. He is worth around 45 to 55 million pounds. And if you want to add in some add-ons, then fantastic. But he's not worth any more than that for two reasons. One, because he's not perfect. The parts of the fan base that wanted to talk like as if Declan Rice was perfect and he had no problems in his game, and they wanted to slander Jorginho, who's had great performances with Italy now, and they wanted to slander Mateo Kovacic, who got Player of the Year in Lampard's first season, and pretend like as if, Declan Rice had no weaknesses to his game and these guys were completely average and there was nothing that we needed from these guys, etc., etc. They've overhyped him. They've put his value at a position that just does not exist, and they've therefore made the expectation on a player and created a toxic atmosphere on a player that doesn't need to be there. Because as far as I'm concerned, When you're telling me that he's worth anything and we can pay anything for him, it's just simply not true. Why is it not true? Because first of all, his position doesn't grant 80 million. You don't need to spend 80 million on a DM ever in your life. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. So that's the first thing. Positions quantify different amounts of money. Same way people are complaining about Hakimi and we shouldn't have to spend 80 million on him because we have Livramento coming through. I don't think we should be spending 80 million on Hakimi either. Do you know what I mean? Again, he's a wing back. You don't spend that kind of money. Again, this all goes out the window if Tuchel wants this player bad enough, because I believe in backing Tuchel. That's the first thing. Tuchel deserves to be backed, but he's not worth 80 million. He's not a player that is indispensable in terms of his price. He has a price. Every player has their price. But also, he's not a bum. He's simply not a bum. It doesn't exist. He's not a bum. And now, what I'm seeing in the chat is the same thing I saw with Jorginho mid-season when he had a howler against West Brom. Everybody suddenly thinks he's shit. He has no tech. He has no ability. He's a bum. Can't do this. Can't do that. Simply doesn't exist. He doesn't exist. And what you're seeing from him from an England standpoint, yes, 100% he needs to want to get on the ball more. This is why I said, even if you bring in Declan Rice, you do not sell Jorginho. You don't sell him. But people wanted to say, oh, we bring in Declan Rice and we get rid of Jorginho. Okay, so then how are we going to build up from the back? Because West Ham don't play like us. And by the way, I have no qualms. I'm sure Tuchel will be able to develop Declan Rice into playing with the ball. He's a very good passer of the ball. When he's got a bit of space, he can definitely smack it with his left or right foot, long distance. He's got the potential to pass through the lines, in my opinion. But he needs to be coached. He's not the finished article. And people wanted to pretend like he was the finished article and that he was going to make everything perfect and nothing was going to be a problem when he arrived. You need to be respectful with some of the midfielders that you already have, like a Jorginho, and then they can teach Declan Rice some of the things that he can't do. Because there's things that he can't do. And there's things that Declan Rice can do that others can't do in our team because he's a different profile. He's not the same as all the midfielders that we have. It's as simple as that.
You know what my thing is with Rice as well, yeah? My thing with Rice is that, Matisse, can you just mute your mic because of that knocking sound so it doesn't like...
knocking? Is it your mic?
It's like, it's his webcam. I think his webcam keeps moving, yeah. I don't want him to shake his back. But now, like, my thing with Rice as well, and once again, my tweets these days about Rice and my comments calculated in it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Southgate tax aside, Rice, even when he opens himself up for the ball and receives it, he doesn't. Honestly, people are going to jump at me for this, but it's still sort of sideways and backwards, you know, the same thing that Bearman were complaining about. Because my thing with Rice is that he's got the talent, okay, and the technique and the potential to be able to learn. I can tell he's a smart guy in the sense that he can learn quickly. Obviously, I've dragged him in the past for not being the most brightest of players, but at the end of the day, for me, I feel like Rice is smart enough to pick up tactical instruction under a manager of Tuchel's caliber. So I'm not worried about that too much. But next season, is he going to adjust quickly enough when we're trying to be going for a league title? This is my issue. This is my issue. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I keep telling people. Well, Anita, what do you want to say?
What's mad about this sideways passing, right? We all once said Kovacic and Jorginho only do sideways passing. We've all said it. We've all said the sideways passing is annoying. Now what do we see? We see more progressive ball playing. We see a lot more of that. And Declan Rice does have it to his game because I've seen it. I've seen it at West Ham. And it's only now, like, it's been highlighted now because of the rubbish that England were doing yesterday. Like, now it's a hot topic. Because don't get me wrong, at West Ham, like any DM, at West Ham, you have the sideways passing, you have the forward passing, you have the break in the play, and of course, like if you're not chasing a game, sideways passing galore in it. And at West Ham, when they, normally when they're in a drawings type of state before last season, when they're drawing, it's usually sideways pass galore. Like they're not trying to go for the win anyway. But when it was last season, you saw glimpses of brilliance when it came to Declan Rice before he got injured. When they were in losing positions, you'll see those progressive passes. You'll see the forward passes that people are forgetting to remember. And that's something that I think our fan base does need to remember. I do think there is an unhealthy love for Declan Rice, especially when he's not a player, only because he was a ball boy or whatever. But I do have a lot of faith in Declan Rice because at the end of the day, Jorginho and Kovacic, sideways passing galore. Now they're progressive passers. Tuchel can work a miracle with a DM. So I personally believe if Tuchel wants him anyway, like what he said, I don't give a heck who we get. If Tuchel wants him, let's get him and let's have faith in it. Because I don't think he's going to play every game anyway. It's all about options.
Again, he shouldn't. This is the thing. When I was having these discussions earlier in the season about if Declan Rice comes in, first of all, you keep Jorginho, you keep Kova, and you keep Kante. Give Billy Gilmour that loan where he gets his minutes. But he's not going to play every game. He can't play every game because he's still got to learn. He's still developing. He's still developing as well. And do you know what it is about this? Why I don't mind who we get? Because if I've seen what Tuchel can do with Rudiger and completely make me do a 180, and I've seen what he can do with Christensen, I can see what he's done to Jorginho. Jorginho's stocks have never been higher. Never been higher. During the season, though, when I was trying to put some respect on Jorginho's name, everybody was cussing. But now, 2 great performances for Italy, a great Champions League final performance, and now suddenly Jorginho doesn't need to leave. Or does he? Because that's what I need to ask the chat. Because suddenly now, I'm not seeing anybody say Jorginho out. I'm not seeing it. But against West Brom, you man wanted to hang him at the Tower of London and you wanted him out. So are we keeping Jorginho or are we not? Because if we're not keeping him and we're keeping Billy, then we need another DM. And if we're keeping Jorginho and we're keeping Billy, then we're not getting a new profile of DM. And if we are not, if we are keeping Jorginho but we're loaning Billy, then we need a DM. So what's going on? What is going on? I need to know. But when it comes to whoever we bring in, I think Tuchel will develop them to a level where they'll be a great DM. They've got enough fundamentals and basics where Tuchel can work with it. But in saying that, Declan Rice is not the only DM on the planet. How many times do I have to say that? He's not the only DM on the planet. People keep thinking to themselves, he's the only DM and he's the only player and there's nothing else we can bring in that can do a job as well for, like I said, better value for money potentially if West Ham don't drop their stance. There's other players out there. There's other players. And they will also come in and do a job. And people are saying, well, there's intangibles. Of course, he loves the club. He'll settle in maybe like a Chilwell in terms of, understanding the current culture, understanding the other players. That's fantastic. And those are fantastic intangibles to have. But Fabregas didn't have those intangibles when he came. He was an Arsenal fan. Still came in and did a job though, didn't he?
I'm so sorry. I just want to address that super chat about Jorginho having more progressive passes than Rice, right? It's not, first of all, it's not a competition. Yeah, it's not a competition, 1. 2, Declan Rice was injured for half the season, bro. Come on, let's put everything in perspective. This is what I mean.
No, he only missed a month.
Pardon?
He only missed a month, didn't he?
He missed a month, but either way, he missed time out. No? Come on.
He missed time. He missed a bit of time.
He was.
Jorginho didn't always start. I think Declan always starts for West Ham. So I'd say.
He mostly always started. He mostly always played.
Let me look at the minutes.
I'm pulling it out for you already.
Because I think Jorginho is usually not under Lampard, he didn't always play. So I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if they clocked up 7.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting the Lampard.
You keep forgetting the Lampard part. I wouldn't be surprised if Declan still played more games in the Premier League than Jorginho. Jorginho played 28 games. There's no way Declan Rice has not played.
Yeah, there's no way.
Let me see.
You're right.
Declan Rice plays every single game for West Ham.
He does.
Every single game. They will play him on one leg.
They'll
play him on one leg.
How many? 32?
32, yeah.
Yeah, apologies, guys. I was wrong on that. I totally forgot about the Lampard era, man. Jesus Christ.
It's Billy Goldberg, guys, from Dino. Alex says Jorginho has more progressive passes per 90 than Declan Rice. Okay, so we're all caught up. I mean, like I said, there's things that J5 brings to the team that Rice doesn't have. I keep telling you lot. And by the way, in a team that plays possession, those things that Jorginho does that many man don't want to respect, it's kind of important. It's kind of important to be able to play out from the back. It's kind of important to be pressure resistant. It's kind of important to pick the right passing lanes and to organize possession. It's very important to do these things if you're going to play out from the back. If we was under Conte and it was a Matic Kante situation, then maybe, under a different manager, you wouldn't need Jorginho as much because you're not playing out from the back and you can play counter-attack, maybe low block and go like that. You know what I mean? You can play a different style. So maybe Jorginho is not needed. Jorginho is very systematic and he is built for possession football, but that's how we play. That's what I feel like a lot of Chelsea fans are not clocking onto. There's not many better than Jorginho in this role in possession. There isn't. There just isn't. So you need to take the rough with the smooth because we literally play with the football. That's what we're trying to do. And it can be pragmatic at times, and we can give the ball away and try and maybe hit them in transition, as we saw Tuchel can be very flexible with that. But again, if you get people around him and you don't isolate him and leave him in acres of space like we did Sheffield United away, he can make tackles and interceptions. Like he's leading that for Champions League.
That's so funny because it's just things that Jorginho has that Declan Rice don't have, Declan Rice has that Jorginho don't have. And in my opinion, it's not a competition. It's one of them ones where either way, rotation is nice. Rotation for different teams is very, very key. When we had Matic being in there was very, very key for us. At the same time, Fabregas being in there was very, very key for us. You know what I mean? Like having options there is great.
Do you know another thing as well that people don't want to talk about is they can both play on the same pitch at the same time. I don't understand how people act.
I'm not gonna lie,
one or the other. Do you both disagree with me? I see what way they can.
I don't want to see it.
It wouldn't be my favorite combination. But it can happen, but it wouldn't be my combination.
It can happen, innit? You know what I'm saying? The thing is, when you watch Jorginho for Italy, he doesn't just sit back. He can do some. He can move forward a little bit as well. Do you know what I'm saying? You get on pivot. I'm not saying this is ideal. Obviously, my ideal pivot next season, as you had Rice, would probably be like, Rice Kante, maybe. I don't know. That's not for me to discuss right now. I don't know. I don't see. I drank a few cocktails last night. Leave me alone.
This is what I'm saying. Now we're swinging complete. It's like this is why it's similar to what Jorginho earlier in the season. People will tell me, what does Jorginho do? Same thing now. If you think West Ham finished 6th, is it 6th they finished? And their captain, who starts 32 out of their 38 games, doesn't have anything. What do you want me to say to you now? Because now you're not serious. You're not being serious. What do you want me to tell you, Abel, about him? Because you just saw the whole Premier League season, right? And his team finished in a very, very good position, and he played most of their games. So now what? Are you trying to tell me that he was just a bypasser in the whole team, and he was the weak link? Come on. What do you want from me? Huh? Again, I don't care though, because Tuchel has got ability. Locatelli's got ability. In terms of value for money, if West Ham try to pull the wool over our eyes with Declan Rice, then just leave it and move on. There's other players.
He will end up like Zaha at Crystal Palace. Just keep overpricing. They're gonna keep him forever. He's gonna end up just like him. And I'm not being there's like everyone says, I do like Declan Rice. Like you guys have seen me boast about Declan Rice. I do like him. But there is Rice at home, literally. Like I'm not paying 80 million for long grain rice when I can go and get the same long grain rice in Italy. Do you know what I mean? For like 40 million. I'm not gonna do that. Come on, like regardless who we get, like we've all said, we don't care who we get. The Tuchel wants who he wants. He can get who he wants. But at the same time, ain't nobody paying 80 million, especially when we're trying to fork out 150 million for Erling Haaland. No way. No chance in hell we're paying that money.
Yeah. Like I said, Tuchel is another player. He's a very talented player. Do you know what I mean? Very, very good with the ball, playing out. He can spot a pass. He just won. I think he won Young Player of the Year in France. So there's other players. So the obsession is just not necessary, people. It's not necessary. Is he worth? Like I said, is he worth what West Ham are asking for? Absolutely not. You have to bring that price way down, and if you don't get that price down, then go and get someone else. Like I said, Tuchel can cook with any ingredients. But there's enough fundamentals in all these young players. Remember how old they are? They're all very young. They can all improve. There's enough fundamentals in all these players for Tuchel to work with and then improve. There is. That's where I'm sitting. So I don't care who we get. I really don't give a shit because it's not a priority for me. Priority is striker. It's really that simple. Priority is so striker right now. But yeah.
When's moving on. Do you know?
Who, Rice?
Yeah.
And his contract's up in like 2024 or some shit. 2024, 2025, something mad like that.
He's balls deep in that West Ham self, man. He's not like, listen, if you want to put it, because I'm hearing West Ham employee talk about 100 million for him as well. Boom. See, listen, yeah.
Bro, these prices are just stupid.
Man.
Stupid. You don't pay 100 million for a DM in any walk of life. You just don't do it because it's just not necessary. Especially in this setup.
You know what it is? It's not like he's Joshua Kimmich level. That's a different conversation entirely. Because Kimmich comes young player, you know, I'm coming from. What do you say, Anita?
I said Kimmich wouldn't even cost that much, if I'm being honest with
He
you.
didn't cost that much is my point. So like, Kimmich at least is a more of a conversation, not Declan Rice. Come on now.
A Verratti wouldn't even cost that much.
Or a Verratti, it won't even cost that much. It won't cost that much. And they would do so much more. So like, nah, man. And see, I mean, to be fair, this is another thing I talked about. You know, I'm saying Rice yesterday wasn't sure. Obviously, like, Southgate tax, I'm aware. It's a high tax to pay. HMRC come claim it back because it's a bit mad, you know, I'm coming from. But at the end of the day, Rice still possession.
He gets on the ball a lot more at West Ham because Souček is the one that goes forward. And people will say Souček is better. This is very similar again to when people tell me Kante and then they in turn disrespect Jorginho when he's playing next to him. Why is Kante able to be mobile, close down spaces, intercept, pass, ball carry? Because he's got someone sitting next to him. So why is Souček able to go and get goals? Why is Phillips able to go forward? Well, because someone's sitting. Not saying that Rice's performance as a sitter was good, but we're starting to forget as Chelsea fans what we need. Are we not looking for another sitter? Because we've got Kova and Kante that roam. Billy Gilmour can clearly roam. So we need someone who sits. Not saying it has to be him, because like I said, you can get someone else who sits, who can do the job. But you are looking for a sitter. And maybe that sitter is not going to get the respect that they deserve because they're not going to do the glitz and glamour stuff like John Obi Mikel, but they're still going to do their thing. Do you know what I mean? Gilmour was all. I feel like people are not understanding what Gilmour is. Gilmour been asking for the ball. He always asks for the ball at Chelsea. This is Gilmour's thing. Of course, he's asking for the ball. That's what he does. That is literally what he does. Do you know what I mean? That is what he does. He's always asking for the ball. He's a different type of player. That's why I likened him to Jorginho a little bit because he wants to dictate. He wants to be getting the most touches. He wants to take control. That is his job. That's what he likes to do. But anyway, like I said, people, just don't mention Declan Rice's name in my mentions because it's boring, fam. Honestly, you man either want to talk about him over the top in a negative or you want to talk about him over the top in a positive. He is the Lord and Savior. He's worth 100 million. He's going to be captain, leader, legend. Or you want to say he's a bum and he's not even worth the price of Basmati and Sainsbury's. It's too much. You're doing too much. All of you. Some people are not obsessed and they just don't give a shit about whether he joins or not. And if he joins, fantastic. Tuchel work with him. If he doesn't, go and get me someone else like Tuchemeni or whoever else he wants. It's not that deep. You man are moving. This is another Mount and Jorginho. Part of me is even starting to sway to the point where if we don't get him, it might be just a blessing in disguise for my TL on Twitter. Because if we sign this brother, it's going to be the most toxic atmosphere I've ever seen on Chelsea Twitter. And honestly, I don't think it can be asked. I can't be asked, bro, for the atmosphere. If Declan Rice joins and like I said, Jorginho has to stay, I can't even be asked with the atmosphere. I can't be bothered. It's going to be long.
Imagine, you know them ones where they come onto the TL and they say raw. You know the one they pull out all the statistics when Rice performs one time, they'll bust out everything on the TL. Man, them are going to be like, hey, some of you didn't want to sign this guy. Then when he drops his stinker, the sorry sexual man them will come out and start dragging Declan Rice. Why did you guys buy fake plastic rice from this place? Well, fam, that's all the things I go. And I really, respectfully, let me not say what I'll do. I might do it officially, man, if that happens. Because honestly speaking, I won't have it for it.
The fact that still happens with Jorginho, this is scary, fam. This is so scary. God,
such a polarizing atmosphere. And I again, it's come from, and both sides need to take some blame because this is the same side that would have, called Mason Mount, and trashed him. But then I'm not biased because I've got friends on the other side and they've got to take some responsibility as well. When you disrespect Jorginho after one game and you disrespect Kova after one game and start saying, COVID, and you start saying Jorginho, the Italian stripper, and then you start hyping up Declan Rice, who is worth 100 million. I'm just speaking facts. When you start disrespecting your current midfielders and hyping up this new one at West Ham to levels that I've never seen before. Pay any price. Captain, lead the legend, the next John Terry can play centre back and DM, can do anything more progressive than Jorginho, can do whatever. And then, in that same breath now, he's not dropping world-class performances of 100 million, and Jorginho is balling for Italy, and Kante is balling for France, and Gilmour is balling for Scotland, and Kova is a baller. Then suddenly things are going to go wrong for you. Suddenly things are going to go very wrong. So this is why, if you're going to do it, make sure that your target is certified. Make sure your target is Erling Haaland level. Because when you start cussing our current midfielders and then they lead us to a Champions League final, I said it on the byline, so don't start talking about Matisse won't say it. I said it on the byline. After Jorginho dropped a clanger in the FA Cup final, well, it wasn't even a clanger, but he did drop one of his best performances, and everybody wanted to do a slander team.
It was a clanger.
Same thing with Arsenal with the mistake, and West Brom, and you man wanted to say, Jorginho, we need to sell him and bring in Declan or bring in whoever. Yeah, and now I said to you, you need to bite your tongue, because if Jorginho leads you to a Champions League final and starts shining under Roberto Mancini, you man are going to have something different to say. And I tried to warn you, because I brought on Pat, and I brought on Gab, and I brought in the big boss men to come and talk some sense, and you man still wanted to run with the Italian pasta muncher thing. And now suddenly you're down, and I'm just bringing you the energy that they're bringing on Twitter. Now suddenly your brother's not dropping 100 million performances. It's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. You need to have the balance. You gotta chill.
I'm not gonna lie to people.
Gotta chill.
Bro, ask me with your chest.
Got to chill. You got to chill. I'm adding multiples. I'm adding multiple people.
Me with your chest.
I'm adding multiples right now. This is what causes the divide. When you start disrespecting, you have to. This is what happens.
At me with your chest.
This is what happens. But now as well, on the flip side, the same brothers.
You guys are killing me.
Nothing, bro. You can hear me. You heard me loud and clear. You know what he said. You know what he did. You know what he did.
I called Jorginho an Italian stripper one time, and the human said,
don't do it again. Don't do it again. There you go. Don't do it again.
Jorginho, bruv. You man, before you even did any of it, I was on Jorginho.
I used to do this. I used to do that. It's like saying I used to do community service, but now I just shut up everybody in Brixton. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What you used to do and what you're doing now. What are you doing now? What are you doing now?
What am I doing now? I'm still in Jorginho stand, bruv.
What are you doing now? No, I'm not going to let you keep jumping. This is not Peppa Pig. You're not jumping in muddy puddles. Pick your puddle. Pick your puddle, boss.
How do you remove someone from their own stream?
I don't want to see nobody. When my brothers had 9 good games in an unbeaten run, and then he drops one clanger against West Brom, which goes down as our first defeat in like 15 games, I don't want to see nobody overreacting, calling up Italian strippers. I don't want to see it.
I will clip it. In fact, do you know what it is?
Your puddle. Pick your puddle. This ain't Peppa Pig.
I will pay you. Give me clips of my teeth. I will clip him. Let's clip him.
For what?
I will clip you. I will clip. I will pay anybody. Clip American Express. You see it. I will clip Matisse. What are you talking about?
Me for what?
We'll clip you. We'll find some.
When I say praise in isolation, criticize in isolation. Criticize in isolation. If he's had a bad performance, criticize the bad performance. I don't need to be seeing in the chat, sell him. Useless. Worthless, never been good, never been this. I'm not talking to you now. Never been this, never been that. Because now it's a problem. Now look what's going on. And this is why, but in the same breath, now the man them that are doing up Declan Rice and saying that he's a bum and he can't do anything. If Tuchel does bring him in, what then? What now? What are we doing? Because we know Tuchel's going to be improving the players that he brings in. He's a master manager. We know this is going to happen because he's done it with players that I didn't even think were even good enough in the team, period. So if Tuchel wants him, I'm not going to start slandering him because of one poor England performance. But at the same breath, he's not worth 100 million. People, your opinions don't have to be so polarizing. I promise you. You don't have to be so polarizing. You can just bring balance. Just bring some balance. But like I said, Dami, your time was always going to come, and this was it. I'm sorry. But that was the time. That was the time. That was the time. And it's not just you. It's many man. It's many man. It's many man. And I'll pick my bone with each individual. I'll do it.
Once again, like I said, my team that day, everybody knows what Guan that day. My day was messed up. You know what I'm saying? I had some accidents on the road and whatnot. I was angry. Then I saw the scoreline and I came out on the air and I let out my anger. So things happen from time to time. So if you can, all I know is that I'm the same person that called Jorginho a king and I got buried by Chelsea Youth and all these other big accounts. I'm the same person who has been backing Jorginho for it. If you want to say, yeah, you called him, yes, I did it. And I don't hide. I don't do PR. I will stand there and say I did what I did. I say what I say and I did what I did and I meant what I meant at the time. But
this is why you don't overhype players.
No, but
I've learned that as well. This is why you don't overhype them. This is why I didn't say Mason Mount should win the Ballon d'Or. This is why
I keep telling people here, it's good to do stuff in isolation. For example, I don't like Hakim Ziyech. Everybody knows this. But when Ziyech turns up and does something really good, I'm going to start promoting the guy. I'm going to start putting out his tweet. One of my best ever tweets was Hakim Ziyech based and it was propaganda, man. So what are you man talking about? At the end of the day, for me, that's why you do stuff. You don't just go over the top and then you just stick to agenda. People have been sticking to Rice agendas for ages. When people in the comment section are talking about Ross Clark, if you look at Declan Rice, he can do this and that. He can cook up in the kitchen. He can also do stuff for the army. He can do stuff that Boris can't do. He can do everything. That's what man them are talking about. But my point is that you need to sort of do stuff in isolation, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? You're allowed to criticize a player once or twice. Do you know where I'm coming from? Like I said, that's why I keep bringing up this Jorginho thing, because for me, everybody knows what I was on before Jorginho. You can advance search me, man. The only time you even catch me insulting him in text, the only time you ever called me was that one clip from that 15-second clip when I was walking on the side of the road because the car was had broken down. So people, don't try me, fam. No. Less of that, man. You can't bury me. I'll come out, fam. I'm Undertaker, man. I'll bring out my arm from the coffin, bro. You can't do it with me, man. Look at Anita is just there for PS5. Keep on showing off Anita. It's calm, no worries.
Them things go out of stock hella quick, Anita, man.
Innit? I don't know how she got it. You even send us good bloggers.
I'm still to this day getting it and celebrating. Anyway.
No, I don't understand how you haven't got a PS5 yet. You guys are really just... Okay, sorry. Hit a nerve? Okay.
Anyway. But this is why you'll never hear me say, Mason Mount for Ballon d'Or and even Kante for Ballon d'Or right now. He's got to have a very good Euros before he has that discussion. Lewandowski right now for me is clear. I used to do the overhyping thing. I called like Reece James generational. Do you know what I mean? Back in the day when I didn't have too many followers, I was moving wild. But now I feel like I need to just be a little bit more calm. A little bit more calm. Even Rice, I disrespected him on mad levels on Miz's channel back in the day. But I've learned as I go along on this content creation thing, you need to just give a little bit of balance. I can tell you Jorginho's weaknesses, but I can also tell you his strengths. I can give you the balance. I can give you the balance. I can give it. And that's what I try to do. Of course, you still have your favorites, people and whatnot, but you just have to try and, you have to just try and, move like you have to try and move sensibly sometimes, sometimes. It's not every day this person is a shit player and this person is a generational player. There's a nice middle ground that you can find. Moving on to Hakimi. What the hell are PSG doing?
PSG need to back down. I don't know what's going on here. They need to back down. What was the thing is, this is the behavior as if I can't have him, we're gonna make sure you guys overpay to go and get this guy. Like, what was wrong with them? They're actually bluffing. Like, they're bluffing. They want us to put a bid on top of that. Then they're gonna be like, haha, you overpaid for him. That's it. If Chelsea is smart, Mourinho will wait till the last minute. PSG will pull out. There's no way they're paying that 70 mil for Hakimi. What? There's no way. Please. That. When I saw the news, I was like, are these people all right? There's no way they want him that much. They're bluffing. Financial fair play will come and catch them in 2 years' time. They're bluffing. No, I'm not hearing it.
Appreciate this super chat, Alex. Like I said, I'm trying to do my best in it. I'm trying to not be a guy I'm trying to not be the guy now that like is mad tribal, takes sides and all that kind of stuff. Dami's about to lose his shit. I'm looking watch.
No, I'm not going to say that. Yeah, he just came with like Anita and Dami take this left from Ross Clark. No worries, man. All I want to tell you people is that everybody's at different levels in this journey, bruv. That's all I got. Matisse has 70-something thousand, I have 20-something thousand. You understand? Anita
Dami's not through his phase yet. He's not through that phase yet. Let him do his thing.
I ain't got any.
Anita is big enough, I think, on BBC and the radio and everything. I'm still a young fry. Let me do my
He's a young guy. Let him do his thing. He's young.
Let me do my thing. Relax. I can't afford to be a bit reckless right now. You understand? As long as I'm not racist or sex.
So like Miley Cyrus. Did up Disney, then boom. Can't be tamed. Can't be tamed. And then, now she's got with the blonde hair again. She's calm again.
Now she's calm.
Yeah, let him do his grinding up on people at the award ceremony or whatnot. Let him do that. He's on that team. Like I said, he's on the streets right now. But do you know what it is? Yeah, I mean, listen. Absolute Chelsea is just reporting what other journalists say. This is what I keep telling you guys about these accounts. Simon Phillips is quoting other sources. Absolute Chelsea is quoting other sources, and then on Simon Phillips' website, he may give his own opinion, and that's where you go to get Simon Phillips' opinion. Absolute Chelsea is not giving you his opinion; he's giving you a source. I don't know if this source is tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. He could be the Sun. He could be Fabrizio Tapin Merchant. He could be. I don't know anybody. It could be anybody. So I don't know what's going on with that situation right now. All I know is that Hakimi, respectfully, we shouldn't have to convince you too much to come and play for the champions of Europe. Shouldn't have to.
Atmosphere at PSG. Maybe
for real. I'm keeping it a buck because my club will not be disrespected. It won't be. It will not be a stepping stone.
Right. What was said? Sorry. What was?
It's just a rumor. I'm just talking if it's a rumor. I don't know if it's correct.
Yeah.
What's going
on,
but
the exact rumor? Because the only thing I've heard is that PSG are putting a bid for 70 mil now.
The rumor is that Hakimi prefers a PSG move. I don't know whether that's financial because Wijnaldum went over there for finances over the Barcelona move as well. Chelsea, for me, apparently, from what I've read, is that Chelsea can offer players in a swap deal like Alonso and Zach Costa. Mateo Kovacic should not be involved in that, by the way. It should be definitely one of those wing backs. They can offer players that PSG can't. But also PSG can offer Hakimi a higher salary. And apparently, if PSG go up to 70 million euros, then Chelsea will go to 80 million. Now, personally, I think that's overpaying. Just like it would be overpaying for Declan Rice. But if Tuchel wants him, go for it. Because at the end of the day, Tuchel is the most important here.
From what I know, Hakimi wants Chelsea. Like, all these rumors that Hakimi wants PSG over Chelsea, I haven't heard all of that from any of, like, my sources. Like, I haven't heard none of that. So I'm not believing that at all. Like, in my opinion, like, the team he's coming from probably want the higher paycheck. They probably want the highest commission. And like, it's probably the team that prefers him to go to PSG.
His family reasons as well.
From what I know, he wants the Chelsea move. He wants to come to the Premier League.
This is my thing. It's like some people are saying, right, well, the family want to live in, the family of, like, he's got family in Paris, so that's why he wants to go there. It's all over the place. Like, no one really knows. Like I said, I had Liam on here a couple of days ago. There's a lack of clarity on the situation. And to be honest, the best journalists are not talking for the sake of talking. If they haven't got concrete information, which is clearly very hard to find right now because every single report is conflicting, then they just won't tell you shit. Which is how I would prefer. If there's nothing to say, don't say anything. Don't lead me down this rabbit hole of Hakimi likes London and he was on the Big Ben, but then suddenly he was caught on the Eiffel Tower the other day and whatnot. Just if you have nothing to say, don't say anything. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not in the business of spewing nonsense.
I will use this opportunity to talk about something a bit different real quick. People, I know a lot of people take the make out of, like, obviously there are a lot of fake ITKs on the platform and everything. And some people come out with like their news and whatnot. If you don't want to say anything, please, I beg you, stop using those stupid little emoji type things. I beg. I'm coming from. No. I'm not even trying to violate. I see some people taking the mix saying that they saw Hakimi at London Bridge and whatnot. Please, there are a lot of gullible people. The same people that you drag for deceiving other people. There are a lot of gullible people on the platform that will believe what you've said, especially when you have a decent size following as well. I'm not acting anybody in particular. This is not a slide dig at anybody before people go and think, Dami was talking about this person, but we've seen this last year. You know what I'm saying? We saw it last year. Remember Nathan Dubois and all that nonsense that went place last year? Now we've got CFC Andreas or whatever his name. What about the AS Andres?
You said you weren't going to say names, but you did.
Well, I said the name. It was like I said, I can afford to be reckless. For me, all these people, please, like, maintain you, man. Don't stop it, man. It doesn't help anybody. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what?
Listen, I've got friends that do this. I want to say something, but I can't say it. Shut up, then. Don't say anything. Seriously, just don't say anything. Then I hate this shit. Just stop talking. No one. Go into your WhatsApp groups. Go into your. No one. You don't need to come onto the TL with this nonsense because you're being a hypocrite. It's the same people that will complain about journalists misfeeding the fan base, giving them false information, and then you're coming onto the TL saying, "Oh, I've got information, but I can't say it. I've got something to say, but I can't say it." Then don't say anything. Just keep your mouth shut. It's not hard. I've got things I want to say, and I don't say it as well. It's very easy. It's very easy to just not say anything. You don't have to type and then tweet. If you don't have information that you can share, that you want to say, then say nothing. Don't say, "I've got something for you guys, but I can't say it."
And also, don't make things up. Please stop making things up. We're looking like Man United fans. Do you remember just the other week, Man United fans were tracking a jet that went to Dortmund and came back.
Just leave it to the real journalists, man.
And I was looking at all these fans that were believing it and tracking the jet at the same time, thinking, you man think these people are going to leave Manchester, quarantine in Germany, then do the deal, then come back and quarantine here, and that Sancho deal would have been done like yesterday. Omo, please stop putting false. No. When I saw that, I was shy for people. I didn't want to break no one's hearts. I was so shy for them. What jet are you tracking? There was no jet to track in this panoramic. In this pandemic, people are when Jadon Sancho himself is in England. Come on.
He says man's playing both clubs just to get higher wages. Look, my situation on Hakimi is very simple. Let me break it down for you. I'm not stressed. Why am I not stressed? Because it's not life or death. If he comes, he comes. If he doesn't, he doesn't. He's either coming to us or he's going to another league that is not a direct threat to us unless it's the Champions League. Now, personally, I think he should want to come to Chelsea. Of course, we have the formation that suits him. We have the better manager. We're champions of Europe, and we're in the best league in the world. Well, I'm not going to say the best. It's a great city. It's a great city. It has its ups and downs. You shall find out when you get here. But if he does not come, it's not a disaster. You want to know why? Because it's not priority. It's not striker. So it would be great if he does come. He's world class. He would help us out tactically with a lot of variations. Tuchel, I'm sure, would love to have him. I was corrected on one of my other streams. He didn't play under Tuchel. My mistake. I think he joined the transfer window after Tuchel left Dortmund. He would help Tuchel in that regard, and then fantastic. But if he doesn't come, I won't lose any sleep because he's not a striker. So we keep him moving, and this is the precaution. If he comes, then he starts at right wing back. We move Reece James, and it's happy days. We've got a world class right wing back. If he doesn't come, you've got options. You've got Reece James who can play there. You've got Callum Hudson-Odoi, who I would love to see back into the fold with Tuchel because he had a great start under Tuchel at right wing back as well. He can be your attacking option, and then you can get Tino Livramento into the first team squad if you wish. Get him signed up on a new contract. And similar to Tariq Lamptey under Lampard last season, gets that odd game in January, maybe a few cup games, FA Cup, League Cup, ease him into the team and let's see what he's got. Let's see if he can step up to this level. So you've got options. You've got 3 options there for right wing back. Not the worst situation in the world. So it would be great to have him. Fantastic. It would be a brilliant addition. But if we don't get him, it's not the end of the world. We're still champions of Europe. We still need a striker. And in my opinion, we still need a DM if Billy Gilmour goes out on loan. So happy days. It's no drama. There's no drama. There's no need to stay awake at night. And all these things are happening. I can see people are any Hakimi updates. It's only been 5 minutes.
Listen, why have we not been linked to any wingers, please? Because I'm a bit worried.
Why have we not
been linked with any wingers?
Yeah, I'm worried. What the hell?
In the formation we play, we've got Kai, Mount. We don't really have wingers in our current formation. We've got two inverted 10s. So we've got, in 2 inverted wingers, sorry. So we've got Mount, we've got Kai, we've got Pulisic, we've got Hudson-Odoi, we've got Ziyech. That's 5 people, isn't it? And then you got Werner, that's 6.
So with all of this means that Ziyech, Callum, and Werner are all staying.
I think Ziyech is not guaranteed to stay, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does stay because he's only been here a year, and that's what I've always said. I think I'd be surprised if Ziyech was just kicked out after 1 year. That would be pretty ruthless. I'd be surprised. I've seen brothers who put in worse performances stick around this club longer. Drinkwater's out here, got a balloon shielding his private areas outside of swimming pools and drinking and having fun, still picking up weekly wage. You know what I mean? So if he's still here, then you know what I mean? What's going on? So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know for these guys. We got a lot of dead wood to clear. A lot.
So are we okay? Like, obviously, this is probably a question for like the next time we come. But are we okay with this? Like, are we okay with the three at the back and the inverted forwards and stuff like that? We're okay with it.
I'm cool with that. I love that formation. Really happy with that.
And if it becomes a season, a Conte season, where everything's found out and we need to switch things up, what's next?
That ain't gonna happen.
Wait, what would you say?
We said that ain't gonna happen.
That ain't happening.
Remember, well, listen, I don't know if Ziyech fits this formation, but Ziyech has not had a full season under Tuchel yet.
Yeah.
So let's see what he's got for him. In pre-season, maybe they can work on some details.
But if
like I said,
I'm not 4-2-3-1, I'm just a bit worried in it. But
I personally would stick with the formation, and then a back four would be my secondary formation. Now, in order for it to be the secondary formation in game to change, I would want an attacking right wing back to balance out Chilwell, like an Hakimi or Hudson-Odoi. So then we can switch formation in game, push the right winger up, push the left back down, and vacate it across. And then you've got a four at the back. In game, you can switch it, let alone the secondary formation for other matches.
One thing I can promise you for a fact is that we're not going to have a primary formation next season. That's not going to happen. Not at Chelsea. No, it's Tuchel. Tuchel has never sat. Tuchel doesn't have
a primary. Yeah, he's flexible.
Very flexible. We said that when he came in. Formation, yeah. You watch Dortmund, PSG, like he's got the logic behind him start with that at the back. He said in that interview, he was just like, easiest thing to coach right now because the patterns of play are not really that. Those are the natural passing lanes that he requires. When he swaps to 4 at the back, sometimes Tuchel is a mad guy. Some days he can play 4-2-4. Some days he can play 4-4-2. He can play 4-2-2-2. Some days he can play 3-4-3. No, but it's true. That's what he did, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it is. So.
It is true, but I'm just one of them people that are just not happy with our attacking options at the moment. But anyway, if we get Haaland,
I think if we get the striker, then the chance creation signings that we made over the last 2 transfer windows, which is Ziyech, Kai Havertz, and Christian Pulisic, your chance creation signings. I mean, some will say Kai Havertz needs to be further forward, but he can pass the ball. Like, he can create, in my opinion. Just needs to. Yeah, he can create. You know what I mean? He played attacking mid as well. He's very, very versatile player. So those guys now Pulisic is going into his second full season. And because he came in January, I believe. No, did he come in January? No, he went back out on loan to Dortmund, didn't he? But he was signed in January, but he stayed at Dortmund and came in the summer, because he never played under Sarri.
So this is his third. He's coming into his third full season now.
Third full season.
Yeah.
Is it his first? Lampard.
Tuchel,
third full season. So this is your third full season, and then the other brothers, it will be their second full season. So let's see if we bought the right brothers. Simple as that. Because if not, if we don't do it next season, now we're gonna have to start making some movements. You know what I mean? Now these conversations will be different.
Next season, I just don't want to suffer. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want us to get this striker and then we can't create for him. I just don't want to suffer. I believe we shall.
I believe we shall create. It shall be done. We shall create. I can see it now. I can see the creation already.
Mason Mount, he's developing a lot. So I'm hoping that plays to our strengths as well, to be fair. So we'll see. Let me stop stressing over something that's not here yet.
If we get a striker, we said this last season, we got Werner. Werner is a second striker. He was playing in a front 2 at Leipzig. And we, for some reason at Chelsea, then decided that we were going to play him on his own. This is where the scouting comes into it. This is why Werner was not my personal target. Because, yes, he was banging in goals at Leipzig. I like Werner. But you're not playing how Werner was playing at Leipzig. You can't just say to him, "Oh, you're going to play out front on your own," and just expect him to be able to do it, or play him at left wing. These are positions he never played consistently. He's playing in a 2. So we have a striker, but we have a striker now that needs a striker next to him. So now what? Now you have to bring in another striker. If you wanted just one striker on his own, then we should have brought in a lone striker. We didn't do that. So now we have to bring in another one. Simple. Werner needs to play just on the left of a actual number 9. Or you can play him up front sometimes on his own if it's against a high line, against big opposition like a Man City or Liverpool at Anfield. But against most of the teams we play, I would want him just off the striker. But this is what we did to ourselves. This is what happened when you don't. I don't know what happened with the scouting. Honestly, I think Chelsea just saw players were available and said, I want this one, I want this one, I want this one. It makes sense. You know, Ziyech with the vertical ball out to Werner on the left wing, running in behind, and there's the finishes. But need more than that. So we're going to wrap up now, people. It got heated.
I said it got heated, you know.
It got heated. It got hot in the kitchen. It got hot in the kitchen, but everybody is still here, so everybody is clearly a chef. If you cannot cook, get out of the kitchen, as they say. Anita, let them know where they can find you. What is coming up for you, darling? Let them know. The floor is yours.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at flown_, and you can also currently find me with The Athletic, guys. You can find me with The Athletic, putting that out there. But yeah, that's the only place you can find me nowadays. And here, I'm on a streaming break, but you know, I love this stream a bit too much to let it go for a whole summer. So yeah, you can only find me here and on The Athletic.
Too hot in here, don't do this. Dami.
For summer, that's it.
They tried to, they didn't want us to wrap up so quickly, so this is what they brought to the table. Apparently, this is concrete from CFC News page on Instagram. 171,000 followers he has. Very good source on Instagram. He said that this is something that could happen. I personally see him going to PSG. Anybody want this, brother? Because, we did floor him in the semi-final, but...
Respectfully.
I just personally feel like...
Respectfully. I know you have seen a district career, but brother, see, maybe if you're connecting in London, innit, that's fine. But you're not touching down at Stamford Bridge.
I don't think it's necessary. It's not necessary. And if we are, like, you know how I feel about getting a centre back anyway. Like, if we are gonna get a centre back, I would prefer Varane, because at least Varane offers us, more years.
You don't even really want Varane like that.
I don't really want Varane like that. But if we had to get a centre back, I'd choose him over Ramos any day. Like, I just don't think that's the direction we should be going in. We already got Thiago Silva there, and I don't know how two former captains coming together with that back line will go.
It's very interesting. I can't lie. Part of me wants to see it for the chaos, but logically, it doesn't make sense.
Not for my team.
It doesn't really make sense, if I'm honest.
Nah.
Now, if you're selling Zuma for 40 million and you need Ramos for one season on a free to make money, I don't know. I can't out and out say no, but I don't feel like, again, we don't need a centre back. Do you know what I mean? We need to sign new contracts for Rudiger, for Christensen, and for Azpilicueta. We need to loan out Mark Gahey if needed and let him develop and then bring him in as well. We've got a lot of young defenders that are coming up through the ranks because that's what we've done. We've purchased a lot of young defenders that are developing, especially for a back three. And we go from there. Reece James can play in the back three as well. So logically, it doesn't really make any sense. There is such a thing as potentially having too many cooks in the kitchen as well. So listen, if it happens and Tuchel wants him again, I am at Tuchel's mercy, people. If he wants him, then cool. But for me, that means someone has to go, and that would have to probably be Zuma. So, but if you want my dream centre back, let Ramos go to PSG and bring me Marquinhos. Bring me Marquinhos. Huh? That's what I want. If you really want to know what I want Marquinhos.
Marquinhos is my dream. It's a dream. We make space.
Make some space.
Make space.
If you want me to be stupid, get me Marquinhos. We don't need a centre back. But if you want me to get a centre back, get me Marquinhos.
Yeah.
Sell
Period.
Zuma. Respectfully, I love you, but get 35, 40 million on his head.
Yeah.
Bless him and kiss him and let him go and bring me Marquinhos. If that's not what's happening, I'm not really going to push it. I'm not pushing it. That's the only thing I'm pushing is Marquinhos. So yes, now we've decided on that we can go. People, Dami, anything coming now? What's going on with you? You want to let them know something?
I mean, yeah. So obviously, like I use my break, like CFC Alex said, I will go and learn how to use my words better. Do you know what I'm saying? Alex, if you're still here, do your thing. CFC Alex, bigging up everybody in chat, ask if I need us things and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It's calm. But now on a serious note, obviously we're out here chilling. You know what I'm saying? We're blessed. As you might see my hair, man. Come on now. That you might know what the state of it is right now. Content wise, I know what I'm trying to do with it, but people keep messing about still. So that's what's going on. But obviously, there's no content this weekend. Expect some next week. Expect some new stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, be sure to follow me on all platforms and whatnot. So yeah, that's your book.
There you go. So people, bless up yourselves. I hope you guys enjoyed the transfer checkers. I need to sort the thumbnail and whatnot, but I will get done. I didn't get my jab. I didn't get to go to sleep. I don't know why I can't sleep these days. Man didn't go to sleep until 4 a.m. So I just went on the little NHS and said, listen, I'm not going to see you tomorrow. It's too early. I was meant to be in there at 8:10. I said, you know what? It's not going to run. I don't even think they're even going to give it to me because they're going to be like, yo, you're not healthy. You haven't even slept and you had an orange just before you come in. Now it's looking all mad for you. So just go home. So I just said to myself, I'll go next time. So Dami's going to have to wait maybe a little bit longer to see me like this on the stream. I know he was looking forward to that.
I was looking forward to see Matisse, man, because Matisse felt like the jab. I'm strong. I'm built different. Don't worry. The jab will show you something. You know what I'm saying? The jab will see. The jab will show you who is really built different. You know what you're built like. Or you're built like Pfizer.
Yeah, we shall see. Alex said much appreciated for the super chat support today, bro. Alex says enjoyed the stream, Matisse, and like some of Anita's points, but Dami is the clip merchant. He needs to step up his game soon. Teach him MAH. Listen, we can only teach those who want to be taught.
I'm a loose cannon, man. So
I like Dami being a loose cannon because it's funny. It brings balance.
It provides balance.
It brings some balance.
If I was always poking like a big pundit, I don't think people would like me. So I can't really do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just what it is. If you want to watch BBC pundits, I'm not even talking to you, Alex, but if you want to watch BBC pundits, you can go to BBC. I'm not going to give you that. That's what's going on. So guys, if BBC want me, I'm here. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Oh my God.
From myself, people, I'm trying my best to get you 2 uploads a day. Well, at least get you 2 uploads on some days. We're trying to get the skits, but the skits are creative and my head has been in stream mode for 6 months. So we're trying to get the ideas flowing after these Euro games. But the last game ends at like 10 o'clock and then it's long after that. But we're going to try and get you a skit today, similar to the one that you got for the England game. But it's just really about what happens and if the ideas are flowing and we can get it and the lines are popping and everything, because there's no point giving you a skit that's not even a little bit funny. So that's it there. So hopefully something later on from me today. We have got a few ideas, so you could get a little short video. London Club's Carnage is tomorrow at lunchtime. Lee, Corey, and Toby going to be discussing a lot of Tottenham's movements. Looking forward to that. Goodbye.